This week in Trinidad and Tobago, a mother and a father were executed in a public park, not only in front of their own child, but also in the full view of everybody else who was there at the public park, parents and children alike. And just a couple days after that, a teenager, a 16-year-old boy, was shot dead in his own yard by bullets not meant for him, meant for somebody else. And we reach a stage now where this is no longer crime news. This is a national emergency. In Couva, broad daylight, a family was torn apart in what was supposed to be a joyful day, a day out at the public park. A young mother by the name of Amelia Hernandez was at the park with her daughter. When bullets started ringing out, she did the unthinkable. She didn't run away from the danger. She ran towards the danger to protect her child. She literally used her own body to shield her baby girl.
The woman rushed to protect the child. However, the gunman also fired several times in her direction before escaping in the car.
She wasn't a trained soldier. She wasn't a trained protector. That was instinct. That was the instinct of a mother trying to save the life of her child. And in those split seconds, a selfless love is when that young woman lost her life. Her husband, the father of the young girl, was also shot and killed. Now just think about that. Children were playing in that park. Children who had nothing to do with anything that was going on between anything that was going on there. And they had to witness that. They had to live through that. And this isn't just another statistic, just another news headline. This is a mother who paid the ultimate sacrifice to protect the life of her child. And a couple days later, another tragedy. In La Horquetta, a 16-year-old boy, a young man by the name of Ezekiel Moore. He was in his yard, like normal. Now, this is a young man with dreams. Probably still going to school, probably now finished, probably trying to get his first job, probably in love for the first time. And his life was taken away from him by a bullet meant for his father. In an instant, just one shot was all it took. A young man cut down in his prime. He could have been a future lawyer, a future minister, a future police officer, a future something in Trinidad and Tobago, and for no reason. And at some point, we have to, in a sense, stop being so desensitized to this, because it becomes so normal that the entire Trinidad becomes so desensitized to crime now. We have to stop becoming so desensitized to this and realize what we're living in, where we reach, the state of our beautiful nation. Because in Trinidad and Tobago, we sell the world a dream. Paradise Island, Calypso and Soca, love and togetherness and community, and everybody looking out for each other. Everybody kind and everybody so friendly. We have a vibrant, multicultural society. People we literally proud to call family and we're not even related to. But when young men pick up weapons, when disagreement becomes fatal decisions, we betray that dream that we like to sell the entire world, that this is paradise. Because no paradise could thrive when our own children dying in the streets. No celebration, be it carnival or anything else, could hide the pain and the grief that parents feel when they lose a child in this manner. And no carnival dance could take away the reality that our young men are dying, giving up their life, giving up their futures for this lifestyle. So listen, I'm not here to shame nobody. I here to ask the young men in Trinidad and Tobago, wake up now, dog. Wake up. Realize that this direction that all you want to head in, it have no future in it. It have none. Live fast, die young. It is so nice until you reach there. Because to every young man watching this video right now, you bigger than that moment. Your life is worth more than a bullet. Your life has value. And if you're angry, there are outlets that you could turn to. That's not this drastic. You try the gym lately? You ever try going and beating out the iron and taking your frustration out of it? Try boxing. Try some sort of physical activity to get all that pent up energy you have out of you. Because if you want respect, stability, purpose, a life with dignity, a good financial status, money coming in the legal way, you can't find that doing crime. You can't find that in the barrel of a gun. You have to build that with your own two hands. Nobody can give you that. Like how somebody will give you a gun and say, go outside there and make yourself a fool. There's one line from an anime that I watched that really stick with me. It was Baki, if anybody know about Baki, when Baki and Muhammad Ali Jr. was going to fight. And Muhammad Ali Jr. tell Baki he going to kill him. And Baki took that personally. Because Baki is a man who take lives before. And when Baki actually gets serious and Muhammad Ali Jr. see what death is, then he understand. When you threaten or when you think that you're going to take somebody else's life, you also put your life up for gamble. Taking somebody else's life is one part of the equation. To reach that equation, you have to put up something at equal value. That is your life. So anytime you feel you enter in there to take somebody's life, your life always at risk in that situation. Your life at the same risk. So we really doing? Why we choosing that? When you could hold a trade. Right now, you know how much money plumbing can make, you know how much money welding making, you know how much money construction making. Think about it. How much for a house? 1 point something million dollars. If you get 20% of that for building the house, how much money you get? That is why you need to go to school so you'll understand and have better ways to make legal money. Because you don't know what 20% of 1.6 million is, right? It's more money than you're going to make robbing a grocery. How much are you going to get in a place like that? Some float from the cash register, $200-$300 and 4-5 pack of cigarette. That is what your life worth. That is what all the young fellas saying right now. Come on, be smarter than that. It have people who using the system, who is bigger criminal than all you right now, and all you know it. So why don't all you learn the system and use it? Not to become a bigger criminal, but to better all yourselves. To the young men of Trinidad and Tobago, you are not a lost cause. You are not a statistic. You're not defined by your mistakes. It's part of who you are, and how you move forward from that point is up to you. But you don't have to define the rest of your life. You can change. You can move in a different direction. That's the power of choice. That's the power that all of us have. We could say no to something and yes to something else. Something that's serving us better in our own life. Something that's not trying to take our life away from us. That is what we could do. And I know you're watching this on YouTube, but I want to make this real clear. The use of social media is the biggest enemy if you don't know how to use it. And I'm speaking from personal experience. If you are not ready for social media, and most people are not, and they don't even know it, you shouldn't be on it. You should learn how to regulate your usage. Somebody could trigger you in real life, and somebody could trigger you online. You always in a state of anger, no matter where you go. If you meet somebody in real life or if you meet somebody online, anything that they say going to trigger you and going to get you upset. It's how you deal with that getting upset that matters the most. You have to understand that there's a problem with you, not with nobody else. And until you reach that stage, social media is just going to be another flame under your ass that's going to get you hot enough to pull out a gun to shoot somebody. So limit your usage. Be mindful of the things that you're consuming. Because remember, when you're consuming things, it's not just the food that you're eating. It's a big part of it. It's going to keep your mind healthy, your body healthy. But a big part of keeping your mind healthy is the things that you consume, the media that you consume, the music that you consume. If everything you hear is go and shoot and go and kill and go and think, I'm not saying that music is turning people into that, because I just listen to that kind of music too. But what I'm saying is you have to learn how to control the emotions you get from them things. You have to learn to control the emotions you get when somebody gets you upset. When somebody says something to get you angry. When somebody calls you a name that you don't like. Or somebody mash your Jordans and disrespect you. That is stupidness to lose your life over. Because again, remember, when you go to take somebody else's life, you're gambling yours at the same time. So it's clear. It's very clear. And I know it might be hard to see when you're actually in it, because if somebody explained this to me while I was in it, I would have cussed you black as white, right? You don't know why I'm going through. You don't know where I come from. And the list goes on. You could make all the excuses you want, but at the end of the day, as a man, and I'm speaking to the men who are watching this, is on you. Everything is on you. Your wife happiness on you. Your children happiness on you. Your boss happiness on you. Everything is on you as a man. And you have to find mechanisms to deal with them. You have to find ways to cope with it. Otherwise, that is the alternative. And it's serving anybody who in it. And if it's serving them, for how long? So you have to be brave. And bravery is not picking up a gun and going and shooting your ups. That ain't no bravery. Bravery is sitting down with yourself and asking, why I need to go and take up a gun and go and shoot my ups? Why when somebody else tell me to do that, I following their instructions? Why when I thinking I need to do that, I feel like I need to do that for? Ask yourself why. Figure out yourself. Figure out why you feel the need to resort to that level of violence. Something wrong. You have to understand that something wrong. You're not special. And people don't operate like that. Normal people don't operate like that. And if you feel that you're abnormal in a bad way, not in a good way. In a kind of psychiatric way. I'm being real blunt with you. There's something that mentally wrong with you. It makes no sense you're going on this line. Because this is a line that it have no coming back from once you reach a certain point. So when you reach a point, that is it. That is the end of the line. The core message in all this that I'm trying to get across is that Trinidad and Tobago, the future of Trinidad and Tobago is dependent on you. You. The men who choosing to go and do this instead of being upstanding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. The future of Trinidad and Tobago dependent on you. And if you continue this line, it have two roads we could head down right now. The road where Trinidad start to prosper, we start to make more money, people start to live more comfortably, or we end up like a real impoverished nation that is full of crime and full of killing and full of murders and full of gangs. So we have to know which road we heading down. And honestly, I just feel like I've fed up saying this in videos, but to the families that were affected by these crimes over the past week or two, our thoughts and our prayers are with you, and I know that there's nothing that somebody could say or nothing that somebody could do to ease that pain or to make you feel less of what you're feeling right now. But just know that people in Trinidad and Tobago still there with you. We're still thinking about you, and we still have you in our prayers. For them, for Legendary Cruiser Jeremy, and I'll see everybody in the next one. Later.